Welcome everybody back to the first generation farm on Squad Farms. I'm your host, Chandler Buck. Today's going to consist of some tasks you might not quite expect. Let's get into it. As we currently sit, it is the month of May. I've been reaching out more with the local farmers cooperative and I applied for a job, which I ended up getting. Trying to read between some of the lines, I did find out that I would be able to take their sprayer over to my grass field and get that prepped. So the next time we are going to cut, it will be fully fertilized and we can maximize our returns. As for some of our responsibilities, the big one we're going to have to tackle is a grain contract. Using their Kenworth, I'm going to have to take, I believe, 6 or 7 truckloads from the elevator to go to their selling point, and we're going to receive a commission off all of the trucks that we take in. Other than that, we're really just playing it by ear, so let's get going. If you guys find yourself liking the First Generation Farm series here on American Farming, be sure to smash that like button, subscribe down below to help Squad Farms get back into the algorithm. I have yet to drive one of these 18-wheelers in the save yet. This will be a nice change in pace. Woo, baby. The contract we have listed is for 6 loads of corn. They're not going to get themselves started, so we will start by loading up our first truck, and we'll get on our way. 18-wheelers are not something you really want to mess with when they are fully loaded with grain. These things are heavy and hard to stop. But I really do have to thank the co-op for the opportunity to try and make a little bit of extra money in the downtime. I don't really have anything to do besides wait for my grass to grow, and you guys saw that from the last episode. We're not going to become billionaires by selling bales. A thing to note is that I am now a part of the co-op's loyalty program, so I might get a little bit of a discount on some of the supplies that I get from them, as long as I'm doing almost 99% of my business with them, selling the bales, buying seed, buying chemical, the whole 9 yards. You might be wondering to yourself, Buck, how on earth are you doing a grain contract in American farming? Well, to be quite honest, you don't really have the ability to do stuff like that. So we're just gonna add it for the sake of realism. I think the estimated profit I'm gonna pull from this is somewhere between $2,500 and $4,000. I know I should know this number, but it's been a hot second since I took a look at the contract deal. Nevertheless, we're gonna take our job and we're gonna take it seriously. So let's drop off our first load and we'll head back and continue on trucking. I'll have you guys head down to the comments section and let me know, what is your preferred brand of semi, and if you have ever driven one. I have actually driven an 18-wheeler before, and it was a Volvo pulling a 48-foot Wilson Pace Setter. When Grant, Spencer, and I were doing the Iowa Ragbri, I was just transporting the camper in the days. It's a bike ride across the state of Iowa. We stopped by their uncles who actually had 2 semis, but the night before we had to really take off and start our journey, the uncle was like, hey, you want to learn how to drive a semi? And we're like, heck yeah, we do. So we all got behind the wheel of them, and I know how to drive stick shift, but I believe it was a 10-speed Volvo, and I'd never driven a semi manual, so that was a great learning experience for me. One load for the contract has successfully been delivered. We'll load up and get our next one on the road. Thanks, Terry. Grain contracts are not something I'm too familiar with. I know farmers do them, and it helps bring in a little bit of additional income. But I'm not going to lie, I had to reach out to some of my local farmers and get some information on these because it's a market that I'm just really unaware of. You guys probably don't know, or if you do know, I'm not a real farmer. I'm just a guy who makes YouTube videos about farming stuff and has been trying to learn and get himself into the field. So it really is, the more knowledge you can gain from listening, the better off you will be. If I were to really be in any sort of farming industry just for the fun of it, I'd likely do hay work. I love to do hay work. Throwing hay bales on a hot summer day might not be the most fun, but hey, keeps you in shape, that's for certain. I'll be getting on the interstate here shortly since we got a ways to go for these drives. We'll check back in with you guys and we probably get the rest of these contracts done so we can collect the funds that we're gonna need to really start growing our farm. Looks like everything after it was all said and done got us about $4,000 for that contract. Pretty good portion of the check, if you ask me. They gave me the go-ahead because we don't have anything on the job board at the moment, so I'm going to take the sprayer over to the grass field and get that applied so we can maximize the yieldage on the grass. Probably won't get to bale this episode, but definitely next episode will hopefully be our second cutting. The nice thing about the co-op is my financial deal I have with them is I pay them quarterly on a credit tab. so I will not have to pay them directly or immediately for the chemical I'm about to use. If I want to pay for it up front, I can. Otherwise, I will be able to wait until June, I believe is when second quarter is. June or July? I think it's July. Yeah, July. And by that point, I'll at least have cut a second time on the grass, so we'll have the funds to cover the cost of the chemical. With the width of the booms on this sprayer, I highly doubt this is going to take any chemical. We'll be able to spray that field in one loop and in the one tiny spot in the center. There's absolutely no way we don't. Well, maybe it might take more than one pass. Gotta put the booms out if we're going to test that theory. Yeah, beautiful. Look at that. Yeah, this thing's fancy enough that it has the automatic shutoffs. Never mind, it will just be one tiny little blip in the middle. Man, if every field could get sprayed this fast, every farmer would own a sprayer this big. Done. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Oh, I am getting a call from Derek. What's going on, Derek? Ooh, we got a seed run we gotta make? Hey, that's fine, I can do that. Yeah, I just finished up spraying my field, so give me a second and I'll be back so I can head out. Yep, we'll see ya. So that was Derek. He's my supervisor down at the co-op. Says we got to make a seed run out to a guy who's running a 36-row planter. They're one of the BTOs and they're trying to finish up and they need one more truckload to get this thing out. Meaning I get to run the seed tender. That's all right with me. Gives me something to do. Just want to migrate over to my crops and see what I had for the fertilization. Yep, it is both. We are set. I really think at some point it's going to be a good idea if we get into wheat as a cover crop. That way we can have something cycling at all times. We can have a fall crop and a spring crop. But I would likely have to rent a seed drill from somewhere. And the only one that I would be able to pull with my stuff is that tiny little case one that I got rid of. I know I can get a Landau, but that's going to take at minimum a boxcar Magnum to pull. I do not have that kind of money or that kind of horsepower laying around the farm at all. Even to buy one of those cheap, you're looking at 70 to 80 grand. I'm going to get myself situated with the work order, trying to get that seed tender hooked up. I presume they'd want me to take the Chevy, but we'll head out to the field and get that farmer his seed. And depending on what we have to do next, we might stick around and watch him. Otherwise, we'll probably head back. I would say this truck's a bit nicer than mine, but, you know, I'm not a big fan of newer trucks. They just aren't built as strong as they used to be. More powerful and efficient in fuel economy, but I wouldn't say their build quality's better. Seed tender is already preloaded with the stuff we're going to be taking out. This farmer apparently has a certain hybrid that he likes to run for corn, and believe me when I tell you this, it is not a cheap hybrid. It's not like it's that far of a drive, but we'll catch you guys when we get up to the field and we can see this awesome looking operation. Ooh, he didn't tell me he was running the Versatile. This is a nice looking tractor. And it's got tracks too. Dang, son. Look at that monster. Let's see if I can remember how to do the controls from a joystick. I got it. Gonna have to scooch in though. Forgive me if I don't know what I look like I'm doing. I've never done this. Oh, well that's convenient. It's got a little marker. Let's dump. Look at that. Man, this thing works pretty nice. 7,200 pounds. That should hopefully last him the whole field. He says he's got 2 pieces of ground he's got to plant, so we're going to set ourselves off to the side and kind of watch as this goes down. This has definitely got to be one of the cooler ride-alongs I've been on. Look at that thing go. That is cool. I think we'll actually crank on the radio for a little bit and get out our drone and let the master do his work. Wait up. He's going too fast.
Don't know what you do, but you make me feel fine. And you can't deny we are not just killing time. You should let me know if you want this true. Baby, you just make me feel crazy. A little crazy for you. Yeah. I think about you and I want you here with.
Seems like Arthur's doing a fantastic job. The rows are looking relatively straight. If you know the rule of planting corn, usually they say the guy who runs the combine has to be the one that plants the corn. Otherwise, the rows are going to be wonky and he's going to be yelling, but then he has the only one to blame is himself. With everything being done by GPS anyways, it kind of doesn't really matter. I'm going to migrate my way down to the next field, which surprisingly is right across the road from me. That one is also going to be going into corn, so we will have a lot of corn on our hands when it comes to harvest season. Let's head on down, and we might even be able to finish out our day if that's the case. I could have said a case. I refrained. Might actually be faster to take the main road through the top half of the map than it would be to go all the way back south. I think this road comes out to the northwest of it, to my knowledge. Scenery is just really, really nice on this map. Wait a second. There's no way that grass is ready for harvest. Hold on, we gotta check this. I was gonna say, it's close, but it's not ready just yet. Looks like we're gonna have ourselves some more hay to do next episode. And we might even have some contract labor for Arthur, give or take how much work he does with the co-op. I'm pretty sure this is the field we're working on. Gotta check the map to clarify. Let's kind of get off the side of the road quick. Yep, that would be the one. Oh, Arthur finally arrived. Nice. I might run to the house though and grab me a little water bottle and a snack. I'm kind of hungry. Sandwich has been acquired. It was actually really quick. Why does bro stop? Come on, man. I got a whole sandwich and a can of water. Wait, what? A bottle of water. Or as the British would say, a bottle of water. Oh boy, nope, we're not doing this again. We're not doing this again. You are not gonna hit my truck, Arthur. Well, it's not my truck, but still, you're not hitting the co-op's truck. Get out of the way, 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 get out of the way. There we go. Now we're okay. I think Arthur needs to get his GPS set a little different. He's kind of taking out the power poles. I think we're going to be able to head back. He doesn't need as much seed as we thought he would. So we're going to go back and pick up our truck and probably wrap out the day. As Brooks and Dunn would say, when the sun goes down on this side of town, I think that's about all we're going to have for you guys left in today's episode. So thank you all for tuning in. I hope you really did enjoy this Squad Farms episode featuring the Farmers Cooperative. So we'll see you guys all in the next one. Be sure to keep it light, keep it loose, keep it fresh, and most importantly, keep it fun. This is Squad Farms out. Peace.